welcome. Good evening. I'd like to welcome a new person who we have joining us, Mr. Glue, and thank you for coming. So we'd like to call this meeting to order, and we're just going to go right through our agenda. Set a turkey bingo.
Yes, we are scheduled for November 18th. It went out in the McMail and it's posted. I'm sure there's people registering as we speak. I emailed Chief Hawk today to see if we can get Officer Madden and Joy. We've tried the last couple of bingos and for whatever reason it hasn't worked out, but we're going to give that another shot. I also emailed an EMT that I know, a young lady, if she would like to be a guest caller also to thank the EMTs in the area. You know, she's with McCandless. And so I'm waiting to hear back from her also. Trish, do we have any gift cards left?
Yeah, know? I did email you back, man. I've seen it. We have 13.
Sorry. Okay.
That's okay. We have 13 Chick-fil-A cards at this time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They're the $5 ones.
Yes. Yeah. That may be enough. Maybe I'll try to get one other one for, you know, a couple other from somewhere else. Okay. That's good. That's good to know. Thank you. And the only thing I haven't done is the trivia. Do you have the trivia from the last Thanksgiving one we did by chance?
Yeah, I do have those. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you mind sending them to me and then we can go through and I can go through and, maybe come up with some other ones, or I honestly don't remember what they were last time and probably no one else would either if we use the same ones.
Yeah, I have
up and we didn't use all of them, so I could kind of change the order or whatever. So we're using some of the ones we didn't use before.
Sure. If I can think of one or two more, I'll throw them in there, but I'll send you a PowerPoint of those.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I think that's it. I know the last meeting, Kelly had talked about a person that would help us with the tech and stuff, or is it?
Yeah, I know she had contacted them, but then they said they could not do it, and I forget the reason why. Well, I can help. I can do the usual behind the scenes kind of thing.
Well, let's put Mr. Glue right on the spot. How would you like to learn how to do a little bit of easy technology for the activities committee?
From here or to come there and do that?
It would be in person. It would be in person.
In person? Sign me up. Sign me up.
Excellent.
And when we say in person, there's only 3 people in this large room.
Okay.
It's not a crowded situation. It's really just myself, Conchetta, and Christine kind of working, and we do everything else via internet.
You can absolutely maintain at least 6 feet away from the others. We just really need a person. Trish has been doing this for all of our bingo nights, and it's something we were really looking for, to have somebody join our committee who and she claims it's very easy. So I'll let you tell me afterward if it is. I am known for putting people on the spot. So how about saving November 18th for us? You'll be right here in the back room. And if you can help with that, that would be just a wonderful help to the committee.
Count on me. I'm there.
Excellent.
Thank you, Dale. And I'll get your contact information and give you a few more details and stuff.
Okay,
about
great.
What we do
Thank
and
you.
things like that. Between Trish and I will do that. Okay. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
It's a lot of fun.
It is.
And it's been one of our activities that the community has truly enjoyed. So I've been thankful for that. As we head into Thanksgiving, I'm going to say what I'm thankful for. And certainly our bingo has been a great activity for our community. So thank you to all. And again, nice to meet you, Dale.
Thank you as well. Thank you. You as well.
Okay, Winterfest.
Okay, I can share some of what we've been discussing with this. This is a new event for the town, proposed to be on December 18th from 3 to 7 p.m. There will be many fun, family-friendly activities. We have been talking with some folks about ice carvings, food trucks. I arranged with Latotomy Nature Center in North Park. They're going to do a really cute presentation on animals in winter. And a couple of other things. We are talking with a fire hall. Don't want to give away, but there might be a special guest dressed in red coming in on a fire truck that evening. And a couple
In
of other
December, I
things.
wonder who it could be. Ho, ho, ho.
So a couple of other things going on, but and then we're going to wrap up that evening with fireworks.
Oh,
So it should be a nice event, and early enough because it gets dark so early. We will, be able to finish at 7, so folks have other parties to get the kids home, that sort of
Absolutely.
thing. So it won't be a late night. It'll be a nice break from all the commercialism, and I think we're, as the committee is really trying to focus on more of a Winterfest, not just a holiday-driven kind of event. But we have come up with a couple of things that we're hoping the Activities Advisory Committee could help us with. Number one should be pretty easy, is helping to secure some volunteers, and we don't have the exact roles for them. We just know we're going to need them. Number two is we thought it would be really nice to have one of our school choirs join us.
I can work on that.
And I know, when my children were in the chorus at Carson and at NAI, I think NAI, but just singing in the courthouse downtown, they have kind of a whole repertoire of songs already. Maybe,
Yep.
we would love
Yep.
to have them join us. We think it would be great and a great.
Could you tell me what time you would like them?
Right,
there?
I can get you that detail.
Okay.
Yep,
I will.
because we're working on another entertainment, and so we may need to coordinate with that, John. We'll talk about it this week, probably.
If you just tell me the time, then.
Sure.
Then I think I could
But
assist.
we'd love
in
to have
trying to-
Carson join us or something like that. whatever.
Yes, yes, some of them, even elementary schools do
Oh, they do
just
a
a lovely
fantastic,
job
yes.
with singing at the holidays.
Yes.
So by the time they're in middle school, it's almost like they're professionals.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how great
It would be
they
a really
sound.
a big treat for anyone who's there.
Yes, absolutely.
And the third one is something new that will require a little more effort and work, but I think it would be a wonderful thing. The proposal was to have kind of like a lit walkway of trees. And we would like to try to get our trees in here and then ask either groups or businesses to be responsible for decorating one of those trees.
Oh.
So if there's, a group of people, maybe we can contact Rotary, maybe we can contact the folks who work at Lowe's Home Goods, or just different businesses or groups. But that's something that the town planners have asked us as a committee to work on. I don't know, so it's up to the folks here at this meeting if that's something you think you could tackle. I think the first number 1 and 2 are pretty much no-brainers, but this third one, I'd love your feedback on.
So I love the idea. Are these going to be artificial trees that you have in a certain area, or are these going to be real trees?
They're
that you're
going to
putting-
be, I think they're real trees. We were talking
I
real
think
with
that's what we
Sandra.
talked about,
Yeah.
So you'll have them, lined up somewhere, and each
Right,
person.
and then
will-
they can stay up, so folks can still continue to visit them throughout the whole season if they were, walking around through here. And we'd of course have, all of these festivities are going to be near enough to our town hall building to have access to a power supply for lights and things like that as well.
Oh, why doesn't each person on the committee try to solicit a business to do this? And the business that you're going to solicit, how about if you email it in to, we all can see who you're soliciting, because we don't want 4 of us going to Lowe's. We can all tell where I'm going to go to ask. I'm there daily. I may as well ask. I just wouldn't want us all asking the same business, but if we could each try to get a business, I mean, that
Yeah, or
would
a
give a
couple-
real
Or even
head start.
if folks have ideas too of a group or a business, and maybe don't feel comfortable contacting them. I'm not shy about asking for stuff. So I don't think you are either, Libby.
I've never been called shy, but, oh, well. So Deb has a question.
Thank you. Is this a, bring your own tree or?
We're going to supply the tree.
I wasn't sure.
Yes, and we would just and we'll supply the tree and essentially an extension cord. And just, so, some folks may want to just completely decorate, USA or, all white or, Christmas around the world. There's so many different fun ideas that, any kind of group could do.
I think we talked about maybe having neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Too, well, since we live right, my neighborhood's right up the bend here.
Hey, I'm sure they could use as many as we can get.
As many as we can get. Maybe this can grow into being 100 trees next year.
Right, it would be so beautiful.
Mhm.
And I suspect 3 years from now, the different groups will be trying to outdo the other ones.
That's my
We'll
goal.
probably have a choo-choo train going around on a tree or
Oh, that's
something.
not yet.
So, I'm picturing things, but again, I have no technology ability. So if we could all work on that, that would be great. And I think that, all of these things, it's just a matter of continuing it from year to
Mhm.
year, and things will keep getting bigger and better. I truly believe that. So,
Can we agree to a date to at least have your plan where you're saying, okay, I'm going to contact A, B, and C. And I also think these 3 people would be a good idea too. Maybe I don't want to wait until our next meeting is the point, because I think people need a little more notice on something like
how
this.
about if everybody takes just the next week to send in a list of who
By
you're
next
going
Monday.
to contact?
So by next Monday, maybe?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, let's say by next Monday, we're all going to email in a couple of names of who you're going to contact. We'll put this together and make sure there aren't doubles, and then let's just try. I mean, not every place is going to say yes, but we should try. Deb?
Would it be announced on the website so people can start thinking about it? Could we put a little note?
I was-
At this point?
Yeah, I was thinking about creating just a social media graphic
Right,
that,
just like,
yeah.
hey,
get in touch with us by this date if you want to advertise your business on a tree or, just participate.
And maybe
I wonder if we could find a prize.
because last year,
one of,
door decorating video, or not door decorating, but the video was such a hit.
oh, that was unbelievable. I'm sure that Trish will be talking to Dale about helping with those in the future too. You are so good though. What I'm picturing is if we use the website and use it to say thank you to Lowe's for decorating, if we do thank yous, businesses love that advertisement.
Right.
And so that's a good way of maybe enticing someone to doing this. So I like it. I'm picturing, a couple of years from now, having 100 trees decorated, and people from the neighboring townships will be driving over to see our beautiful.
Yeah. And so,
area.
keep in mind, like, groups too, like I'm thinking, I can maybe send a word out to Kelly, our friend Kelly. I imagine if she said something, she could get the Girl Scouts to decorate
yeah,
an entire
yeah.
great tree
Yeah.
with homemade ornaments.
They could
Yeah.
even put several troops together and make it the Girl Scout tree. Oh,
Yeah,
all
yes.
kinds of good things. Right. Did you have a
I was just
question?
gonna say, please note, Amy has raised her hand.
Oh, so,
Oh, I'm so
Library.
sorry. I see that, Amy. I see it right in front of
I
me.
think there might be a library tree.
Amy?
Yes, I did put in the chat like 10 minutes ago when you first started talking about it. Mark down the library for a tree, definitely. There's also through the Pittsburgh North Regional Chamber of Commerce, you might want to put the idea out to them. They also have a group called Nonprofits North. I'm thinking North Hills Community Outreach. Those kinds of groups might be interested as well. But definitely mark us down.
Thank you. That's a great
You
idea.
know, at home, I really follow it on my computer so well when I'm in these type of chats, and I'm going to keep a better eye on this. I apologize. So wonderful. Well, everybody can cross Northland off their list. Okay, so this sounds great to me. Internship discussion. So hopefully everybody read, we were sent an attachment. I know it looked like a great thing. We discussed this some before, and we said, the town couldn't make it a paid internship, but for us to get a volunteer intern would be great for, everyone. Heck, it could be, these younger people from colleges talk about kids, how they know technology. We keep striving for that. And, that would be somebody who could help probably with a lot of things if they're interested. I know we've gotten many interns at Windwood Pool where I've worked in the summer, and it's great to have these, I don't want to call them kids, even though they're less than half my age, but they can be very helpful. So I love the idea of having this, as long as it is a no cost position. I thought it was a great idea.
Here, so I can speak to it if you'd like me to.
Please, yeah, we'd
Okay.
like to learn more. Thank you.
Yeah, I did pass out a few copies. I don't know if you read this, but this was like ongoing in my brain all week. But my brain's been a little crazed lately, but I did draft this proposal, so you can, if you.
They should be able to.
We have one from us, but she did email.
I want to make sure that folks on Zoom can hear and on the recording too.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, thank you. So this is really a rough draft, just kind of a brainstorm of ideas that I put together based on what I've been reading and discussing with some people. But the subject is to submit the proposal. We have to go through, the channels here and the channels for Penn State. So, and I based this on the description in the McCandless conversation, the implementable comprehensive plan that I was on the committee for. And particularly on page 47, and John can bring that up. Oh, yes, he did. So, and I kind of quoted from that, number 1, 2, and 3 on the bottom left of the first column. We've done number 1, thanks to all of you. We've created an activities advisory committee and hiring parks and recreation staff based on needs determined by the AAC and approved by town council is that vision that Libby has been talking about down the road for years. But this intern, I think, is a precursor to looking even at that, if that ever happens. And number 3, develop programs, events, and activities that fill gaps and meet community needs. So this intern, in my vision, and hopefully you can add some things to that, would be able to create a needs assessment, perhaps look at data reflecting potential community space, which we did in the plan, but now that's like almost 3 years old. And
so much of it has changed when I started creating that database of spaces. It's completely changed post-pandemic, to be honest with you.
Well, that and there's the pandemic.
Yeah. So all the things like church halls have really been eliminated from that whole list.
And when I had for the implementable plan, I worked on that. And when I had first started calling places, I ran into a lot of roadblocks as far as insurance, Are you a member of the organization? Even at school where I worked for 35 years, to rent a classroom, they still want you to have insurance, that, you have to have some coverage there. So it's not as, you have to pay, of course, but it's not really easy. But anyway, we can explore that and see what is available. Now, the interns in the program that I was looking at, they can be requested without a salary, but it was just an idea to maybe include an honorarium, but that would be based on the time they spent here and their evaluation, what they did for us. And that's to be discussed. Interns must have 300 hours. However, the hours can be split up between several agencies with 50 hours per agency, or they could do maybe 100 hours here, depending on what our needs were. Now, there is also, and I didn't mention it here, there's a Capstone Project, but that's a 12 credit. That's a little more involved, not 12 credit, 3 credit. It's a little more involved than just the intern project, but I can look into that too.
So I know with teachers, they have to do really a lot of hours, like an internship, and it is totally unpaid, but it's part of you getting that major and so forth. Can you tell me, for a Parks and Recreation major, do they have to put in a certain amount of field hours?
300. But
So
they can
that's what
divide
I was.
that up. It wouldn't have to be 300 here. It could be.
Right, but that's
Yeah.
just like if somebody wants to become a teacher, so you can get a lot of, honestly, a lot of free labor
Well, I
because
can
they
be-
have to
yep.
do it.
But you also need to be someplace where you want the best and brightest. I know I went through teacher education, and because of the place I was in financially, I had to choose a internship that did provide a very small stipend, but it was something that others did not.
Oh, NA doesn't give anything.
Right.
And do other school districts give them money?
Absolutely, absolutely.
NA
yes.
doesn't give a thing.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. And we can
Mhm.
discuss that as far as an honorarium or a stipend.
Uh-huh.
And I think it would be dependent upon how the person performed. I mean, we could put it out there.
Right, we would have to have very clearly established goals
Yeah.
that would need to be met.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then,
if you get somebody
Well, we
else,
have
somebody
honorariums
else.
also at the school district. If somebody does extra work, then we'll award an honorarium. It
Mhm.
comes after the work's been done. And so
Exactly.
that would be,
That's what I was basing
Right,
it on.
that would be up to town council. We could put in it potential honorarium, and then town
Mhm.
council could decide, oh boy, this person really did a lot of work. Let's give them $2,000. That would
Mhm.
totally be on, as the activities committee, we actually have nothing to do with these monetary aspects. That would be up to the town council. But
There
let's
is
get some,
budget items that are in recreation. I reviewed the budget a little bit. But that's what I mean, Libby, exactly what you're saying. Down the road, how that work plays out. I have experience with honorariums as well. And that's why at first I called it a stipend, and then I changed it to an honorarium because it
Mhm.
is different.
Mhm.
A stipend is, you're gonna get this.
Right,
An
right.
honorarium is, thank you very
Right.
much, here you go. So, that's why I had changed the wording.
Well, I'm looking at, to see if there's a hand raised or anything, but it's blocked right now. So if your hand is raised, could you just speak up, or, okay, there we go. Does anybody have any thoughts on this? I think it sounds like a good idea to continue farther. I think we at least have one volunteer to be on a committee looking at this. I assume that Deb is interested in that. Would anybody else like to join her on a committee to look further into doing an internship? And maybe writing this up. You've made real progress. I could give you the write-up for things at Wynwood, but it's a nice thing. It's a nice thing to have. I'm sure we'll get some people interested because there's some people majoring in it who live right in North Allegheny, so it's
You're
an
reading my mind.
easy one
Right.
for them, and they would probably hope to get a job somewhere.
A couple more things to add, just as I'm thinking. My thought is submit this to council. As I said, the timeline, I don't know if it's too late for November, the agenda meeting, or December.
Well, we're in November. I would say
Right, and
you're
then meeting's the
looking at
22nd.
December.
Yeah, we're the second and the fourth Mondays.
So next Monday. And-
Yeah,
and I'll have to go over that
this-
with you maybe.
because President Zachary may not be here next Monday. The agenda may be set already for next Monday.
Okay.
But, and I'm not.
I plan on
I'm
December.
trying to think
November,
of,
December, right.
yeah,
I
with
would plan on
Thanksgiving,
December.
if we're doing, we may want to wait till we're scheduled for council on the 22nd and the 8th and 22nd. I'd say we might be a little late for the 8th, because I'd like to have a really defined proposal together before presenting
Yeah.
to council.
Mhm.
I understand. Well, I think December would make it, because I think on their timeline, it said submit by January to Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought is submitting it, looking for people in the area, maybe they could help us with that a little bit at the college at the university to identify.
And there will be
People.
other, it's something that we're proposing that you submit this and you're submitting it to Penn State, but there are so many different colleges and universities that have this as a major. I could picture the town saying, we have this internship program, advertising it, and heck, we could get somebody from North Carolina,
Well, if you look at the Penn State, I'd encourage you to go on to their website, because I was encouraged but a little bit put back when you see the places that are advertising for interns. I mean, it's pretty impressive,
Right.
like the Rocky Mountains, North Carolina. So, but I'm envisioning somebody, a summer person.
there'll be an NA
who
grad who
lives
wants
here,
this.
will work here for 5 weeks in the summer,
Mhm.
get a little honorarium, maybe if the council would approve that. Just get us started in this whole idea. Just get our feet wet, more or less.
Okay.
No pool pun intended. No pools involved.
Like I said, we've always gotten them, and we got a person who lived in Maryland and went to school in North Carolina. So you can,
You never know.
you just don't know who
Somebody
you're
who's
going
looking
to
for
get.
This type of
Yeah.
experience.
Right.
And as you say, once we start a file like this, then we can start looking at. other
Everything's
places.
going to grow. It's a
Yeah.
matter of just getting things
We can
started.
look at
Everything's
other- I
going
looked
to
at
grow.
I looked at Slippery Rock, but they didn't get back to me. It was summer. And so I thought, well, I'm going to concentrate on what I have.
Yeah.
This is, I
And
have.
we'll keep working on it, and
Let's plan for that December
Okay.
8th, or is it December 8th?
Great.
Meeting? So
any
maybe we
thoughts that
can,
come, anybody that has an online too, it's hard to look at people online, looking at the TV, but if
Right,
anything
they can-
strikes you in the meantime, and John, you too, because you're the communications person, let me know, just shoot me an email, and then Trish and I
yeah,
will
we will,
talk about it.
maybe what Deb and I can do is just plan on a time to meet and hash out a proposal to present.
But
If
I base
anybody,
this all on the implementable plan. I wanted to
Absolutely.
have a solid, it's
Mhm.
not just an idea that's sprung in our minds, it's here. So, thank you very much.
okay,
I'm excited.
thank you. Annual report.
this is, I prepared it last year, and I just want to see if there were folks on here, and Libby, if you want to take hold of this or assign somebody, but just basically you can, if you want to use the outline that I did last year, I can share that again, and it's going to be essentially just filling in the blanks of what we've
What we
accomplished,
did and
what our
what we're
goals
looking to
are.
do.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember, and then the one thing, I remembered the one area we were really lacking, we didn't have a single thing, was actually in proposed statutes or something, and that's why I was like, oh, and I wrote up my pool cover one,
Right.
because I thought, oh, we have to have something from each area.
Well, and
I
that's just,
didn't-
yeah, and proposals, and that's where, being an advisory committee, taking on, I want to say like meteor projects, like proposing an intern, more than just, the bingos are great and participating in Winterfest is great. But I think,
Winterfest could really, really turn out to
but
be
being
big.
even more
It
than
could.
the particular one-day activities, but
Mhm.
actually representing the town on proposing policy changes if needed and that sort of thing, and being more participatory in decisions about what's happening with our parks here. I'd like to see this committee do more of that. So, and I think that's kind of what's been missing. Again, back to that comprehensive plan. It was created to be an advisory committee, not an activity committee, an activity
Advisory committee, right,
So-
right. And that's how committees need to be, because the people on council, just like me being on school board, we can't do everything. We need to take advice from the people we're representing.
And we need
and
to
try
keep-
to come up with ideas and things.
And
So,
keeping in mind that our town, for the size it is, unbelievably does not have a recreation department. So that makes the role of this group even more vital,
mhm,
because we are completely lacking in a recreation department altogether.
mhm, mhm. Okay, so she'll email out last year's, and does anybody want to take charge of this? Okay, it'll probably be Trish and I taking charge of it, but if you email it out, we'll all fill in blanks together once you see it. Like you could sit there and say, okay, here's the dates that we did bingo and so forth, and we can make this sort of a running document.
Right. Yeah, so like for bingo, the dates we did it, the estimated number of participants, that sort of thing, I think. that
Right,
should be pretty
everybody's
easy.
going to have
Yeah.
to give some reports to help fill
Mhm.
this out, and
Even like
I can get
Christine's,
it
like
typed up.
the treasure in the trunk event, we have
Right.
a lot of great things going on, so
right.
let's brag about it.
Okay, is there any discussion of any of the things we've done, or is there any projects or activities that somebody wants to talk about doing for next year? I think that treasures in the trunk is going to be a good one going forward also, just sort of like what I've been saying with everything. Each year you get more and more people, and it becomes even better known, because I heard it was very successful. So
Hey, Libby, I'll talk. It looks like my camera's not working well. It's very slow motion. Are you seeing that too? So I'm gonna slide it off.
you are a fuzzy mess.
Okay, so the treasures in the trunk, it was actually quite successful for this, we had, about a dozen, I think, people? I can't remember, 10, 12. And it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. The coffee truck came. It was excellent coffee, Ethiopian coffee. It was just excellent. She was happy. The people that showed up for it, we didn't end up charging any of them, just because the word didn't get out very much, and it was a last minute thing. But for that 1 week, I'll tell you what, it pulled together and everybody was happy. The rain held out, and a lot of people said, let's do this in the spring. Let's do it at NAI and have like 50 cars. And I think that would be awesome to have a ton of cars.
Yeah,
And do it.
sounds like a great idea. You'll have to give us a date for your treasures in the trunk event at NAI, because we'll have to speak to Rob Hetzel is probably the one to give the okay for the parking lot. So Dawn.
Yeah, I actually would like to start having a farmer's market. There was 2 farmers markets that, trucks really, and sold their goods at 5 Points, Duncan Avenue. And I would really like to do something like that for next year, because I think a farmer's market is a great community event every week. North Hills does it. They have 2 locations. So I would like to do that to get some more farmers to sell their goods in McCandless.
Are you interested in heading?
I will. I
doing
will.
it?
I'm actually talking to the Rite Aid. That's pretty empty. I talked to the owner. He's kind of weird, but or even the temple. What? He is odd. He's odd. But the
What?
temple also had one.
This is a recorded meeting. I'm just
That's
going
okay.
to.
That's okay. Odd is not derogatory. I'm odd. But the temple also has had one too, every Thursday. So maybe we can get that back.
Yeah, so I love the idea of a nearby farmer's market because I go into the city, I go into Lawrenceville, I go all over the place trying to hunt down fresh produce.
You're gonna have to hunt down. There's one there's actually one on Perry Highway and one at the block. So there's lots of them, but we just happen not to be in McCandless. Yeah.
So we need to maybe, what we can do now, because it's not going to happen now, but maybe start looking at where those are so that we don't have the redundancy. So
Correct.
I think the one that's up on Perry Highway at the church, it might have been days.
And then Fridays.
Right. So we want to make sure we're not doubling.
Right, so pick a different day and maybe do it, maybe McKnight gives you their parking lot or something.
Well, we also have to be sensitive to where the farmers, they like theirs on Sunday. So that Rite Aid on Duncan Manor, both of them showed up on a Sunday, which is fine. And the one that was at the temple, Jewish temple, that was on Thursday. They seem to be interested. I got their information from the farmers, so we'll see. I think that would be a great weekly event for McCandless.
Sounds great. Thanks. We'll expect a report on what you found out there. I like that. Okay. Fitness court. Anything new with the
Nothing
fitness
new,
court?
but
Okay.
kind of looking at other courts. I know this may have been brought up, but I wanted to see how the committee felt of doing kind of I'm looking for things that might involve community members that aren't very young or aren't seniors, but I'm thinking, the 30 to 50-year-olds or the young adults in our community. I'm not sure if it's done yet, but there's going to be pickleball lines painted in some of our courts here at Town Hall. And we may be able to actually ask our youth council representative to help us, but I was thinking, wouldn't it be fun to have teams made up either of neighborhoods or even our 7 wards and have a little tournament going? Might be, just, have some fun, just getting everybody together to meet people and, have a team of 10 from Ward 1 versus, and that sort of thing. And then, maybe go over to Caden's Clubhouse might give us a discount on, going for some snacks and beverages afterwards or something like that. Might be kind of fun.
Great idea, because nobody knows what ward they live in.
Right.
I do, but okay. Maybe I'm thinking you might want to lower it a little to the 25 or 20
no,
years to really get a crowd.
Deb
you
knows
get
people
enough?
who
Oh,
are our
okay.
age that play.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's fun
Okay,
about
then.
pickleball is anybody can pick it up pretty
Okay.
easily.
Pickleball, yeah, and volleyball too, though, I think would attract a younger crowd too.
I met my husband playing volleyball.
Yeah, so there you go. We could.
However, I am in no way saying that I'll be participating in a game for my
But it would
neighborhood.
give
That was a
some,
long time ago.
Some emphasis on, the ward system, I think, too, and that's kind of an underlying thing, because people really, that I know, they
Nobody knows.
So,
Yeah.
a lot of people I speak with.
Because I thought
Okay.
at first about doing neighborhoods, but then that might be hard.
Yeah.
So Ward would leave it open to
Yeah.
so many people
A lot of people.
and
I like
actually
it.
get people to meet people they wouldn't have met otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, volunteer development, Dawn. Anything? You're muted. You're still muted.
Yeah, she is.
No, I'm not as quick as I used to be. So if we need volunteers, which is December 18th, I really would like to know as soon as possible what the needs are, because I do think that we need to probably contact them more than once. And I think that it's the holiday, and I think it would be great if we could just give them more of a heads up.
Gotcha. Okay.
Agree.
We hope to, at the town level, probably, would you say within the next 2 weeks, John?
hope so.
Like a timeline of the day of what's going to be happening. So we'll definitely have that for you, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, John.
And I did drop the ball. I actually think that we really do need to have a coffee for the volunteers. And, you know, maybe even if I could get something together in the next 3 or 4 weeks and even just meet at Convive or something like that and make it casual, so they actually put, you know, faces to people and then want to participate in activities within our community.
I think I love that, having.
And, you know, I mean, even if I have to pay for their coffee, it's really, you know, just so that they actually put a name, a face to other people. So I'm going to try to get that together, and just, you know, who shows up. So I think that that's important.
Okay, I think the next several
Yeah, they're kind of still
Gone.
in
yeah.
limbo.
Anything from council?
Couple of events to talk about. Number one, on November 11th, the Heritage Center is presenting a very interesting program on the Underground Railroad. So if the Activity Advisory Committee could share that information, and when you see these things come up, if you're on social media, it really, you know, it's great for you just to hit share. It doesn't cost you anything, it doesn't take any effort, but clicking a button to let other people know if you
what
were in your
time?
life. What time is that? 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Got it.
Mhm.
Okay.
And so the EAC just had their cleanup last week. Unfortunately, I was out of town, so I could not participate myself, but again, a great success. And, you know, speaking from, I think we all work together and volunteers and everything like that. It's great that we have so many community members willing to participate in that. And then finally from the tech, I believe our website is still under review. We're still working on what these programs are very expensive. So there's really a lot of thought happening on who and what company we want to invest with, because we're trying to make this something that will be interactive, so that whenever we have something like our Christmas tree decorating, it's going to be one click that you can sign up instead of sending separate emails and so forth. We really want to make it much more modern and easy to use, and kind of client and consumer friendly type website. So it's taking a little longer than we expected, but hopefully that will, once that happens, I think it'll make our job easier also to keep on getting word out, making it easier for people to participate.
Very good. Okay, anything new with the welcome package here?
Dawn was so great to send this map that her daughter was willing to make. And I mean, it's still in, you know, getting developed, but it's a pretty nice map.
Yeah, yes, we've made a lot of progress.
Yeah, so still getting there, but I really appreciate Dawn's daughter doing that.
Well,
thanks, Dawn.
Thank you. Is it Madeline?
I remember her name. I apologize.
Okay, well, thank you.
Izzy, it's Izzy.
Izzy, thank you, Dawn.
She's actually the artist, so she's actually, you know, just put to make sure that, you know, what she's not missing anything. So.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could share that with us, Terry, are you able to scan that in and email it to us?
Yeah, I can forward it. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good. Well, thank you. Okay, any public comment?
Okay.
Oh,
I'd
I
like-
do, I do. Hey, did anyone ever send a thank you card to Pennsylvania Tennis Academy for donating all those tennis rackets?
Yes, I have it on my stack of cards to send out, Dawn. I'm very sorry I didn't get it out. My last couple weeks have been a little harried, but I promise I will have that in tomorrow.
Well, because that would be also a great treat. Do you see what I'm saying? She would probably do a treat.
Oh,
For
awesome.
So,
Great.
so I'm saying if you can get that card out, that'd be great.
Awesome.
Yeah, send the card first and
Yes,
ask them
and
a
then we'll
week
ask for a
after
treat
they
next
get the
week.
card. Yeah.
And that's the plan. So, all right, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, a tennis tree. That would be fun.
Okay, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.